Greetings people, how's it going? Some random person here, and today we're gonna take a closer look at something that I showed you before for a couple minutes here and there, a project called Hydra that has a couple interesting news that you might like as well. Now, the last time we talked about the wallet that they have, which is available on Android as well as iOS, so you can simply download that, use the app, but in short, they have their own layer 1 chain called Hydra. Similar to other wallets, you can send tokens, receive them, all of that. And today's focus is on the recent news that they had released on a couple different pages, as well as the updated white paper, the version 2.0. A couple days ago on November 16th, they launched the Lydra and Hydra Liquidity Pool on their Hydra Dex, and I'll show you what all of that means right now. Let's say you have a token that you stake. You have Ethereum, you stake that, you get a couple percent, but that's it. If you join a liquidity pool, where you can use Hydra as well as the liquid staking derivative Lydra, which is already integrated in the protocol, you not just increase the staking income, but also the leverage token burn. The main difference is that Lydra over here is integrated into the blockchain, so they have high usability and therefore less security risks. For the past month, you know, the token goes up, goes down, goes sideways, but if we focus on the first 3 weeks until November 10th, the token pretty much doubled in value. Now, what do you get if you join a liquidity pool? You can put your assets to work with lending, liquidity provision, composable yield farming, have leveraged staking income by over 2x for the APY, because you can even use Lydra as a collateral to get additional Hydra, which means this in normal language. I have an apple, you have $2. Now I get $2 and I give you an apple, and I borrow against my $2 to get another apple. Now I get an apple and $2, and you have an apple, because I borrow against something that I have. Hope that makes sense. The lower the Lydra price goes, the higher leverage for Hydra buybacks and burns using the protocol fees, which then creates organic value. The news and updates are mostly on Telegram. I will have the links to everything mentioned in the description down below, so you can check them out. So all of this so far means, if something comes out fairly soon and you're early, the price is usually lower. Because if you're right here and end of bull market is here, you can see how this one is higher than this. Ain't no rocket science, but that's usually how it goes. They even mentioned for the initial starting price of Lydra, they have to put a couple other things in place to not make it unfair. Because what happens sometimes, let's say after a seed round of investors, they have 2 million in tokens, it launches, everybody else wants to buy it, and then the people who bought early just sell. So for that, they have a couple other things in place, so they can ensure that the things you don't want to happen don't actually happen. If you want to read all the details for yourself, I'll have the links to all the things that I show in this video as well in the description down below, so you can check it out. Just so you know, they used the tables, they used the mathematics to figure out a way to make it a win-win for everybody involved. But in summary, their starting ratio is going to be 0.3 for Lydra/Hydra, with 1 million Lydra and 173,000 Hydra from the DAO treasury, so there's no inflationary impact for Hydra. Have a V3 Dex that allows for the strategic zones that they outlined in the entire article, and deploy the pool with a 1% fee setting. And all of that combined with the math underneath should work quite well. Also, just to mention it, one Lydra is always backed by one Hydra, so when you borrow against it, it makes it still super liquid and free of liquidation risk. Because the issue I had before with Anchor Protocol, if you remember Luna from a year and a half, if not 2 years ago by now, liquidation was always a risk, which ended up being the downfall for the entire project and people involved. But in here, when they removed the liquidation risk, you can still stake, use the token, and participate in the entire system without having to worry about that every single day. With the example being, you have 1000 Hydra, stake it for 30% APR, get 1000 Lydra in return. If the market rate is 0.8, for example, you get 800 Hydra back, which you can then stake again for 30% APR. Which means the money that you have almost doubles. And with the pyramid down there and the half sun and all the mathematics, this should work quite well. There's also an APR bonus involved, but then again, depending on how long you lock things up, you could get the highest APR bonus in this example, but then you have to claim your tokens a year after you staked it. But they mention over here that it's not subject to vesting, users can cancel their positions at any time. The aim is to discourage impulsive liquidations during moments of panic, and if that does happen, convert them to a deflationary force. They also have over 900 nodes active all around the world, which then makes it more resilient against local risk and country-specific restrictions. And just in case some of the nodes go offline in any certain region, they would immediately raise the staking APR for everybody else, which makes it even better. Now, I love nodes, because you simply leave them online and you get a percentage of the tokens paid out, and long term they usually seem to make a lot of sense. And if you can host your own node, maybe you have something like a master node, I'll let you know, maybe make a video about that. But for that, I gotta read a lot more, because there is quite a lot to all of this. If you want to stay up to date, links to their Twitter as well as Telegram down below. They even mentioned just 6 hours ago that they're gonna add USDT, Lydra, as well as Hydra and Lydra pools to another decentralized exchange such as Uniswap, which would not just give it a lot more exposure, but also allow you to join join pools in different ways. All in all, links down below. Check out the app if you want to, available on Android as well as iOS for the wallet. Join the community if you got any questions, and I might give you a detailed walkthrough on how to actually join the liquidity pool on the Hydra Dex and give you something like a step-by-step guide. If you're interested, let me know. Until then, have a good rest of your day and take care.